In young life, small groups are a really big deal. Some people call them campaigners, or breakfast club, or Chick-fil-A's, or Bible study. Whatever you call it, a small group is when leaders and kids talk together about the Bible and following Jesus. A club talk is a monologue, a leader talking to kids. But a small group is a dialogue, leaders talking with kids. Some people feel really nervous about leading a small group. But if you're a faithful follower of Jesus, who's learning more about who he is and what his word teaches, you can lead a small group. Here's a really simple framework for small groups with just 3 parts, kind of like a concert or a sporting event: a warm-up, a main event, and a wrap-up. The warm-up is just what it sounds like. People hang out, talk about their week, and probably eat something, because food is always a good idea. Some groups check in with highs and lows, or roses and thorns, or happies and crappies, or whatever you call it. These are great because kids love talking about themselves. But don't stop there. Ask one more question that helps them go one step deeper. Like, how did you help someone this week? Or where did you shine the love of Jesus this week? Or when was it hard to trust Jesus this week? These kinds of questions still let kids talk about themselves, but now in connection to Jesus and their faith. Then move to the main event, which is always centered around the Bible. There's tons of topics we could talk about in small groups: friendship, social media, school, but the best starting place is God's Word. When we read the Bible together, conversation will naturally move to topics that people are wondering about. But if we start with those things, we could talk about them forever and never get to the Bible. Be sure to prep for the main event by reading and studying the passage yourself first, lots of times in lots of different ways. In the main event, we do 3 things with the Bible passage. First, we bring it to life, especially when reading a story. We learn how to see, hear, and imagine the scene. You could have someone retell the story, or maybe have a few kids tell it in first person like they were actually there. Second, bring it into focus. Study it, dig deeper, look for lasting truth. Use thoughtful discussion questions, and use study strategies like making lists of everything Jesus said, or comparing how 2 different characters responded to Jesus, or making flow charts of all the if-then statements. Third, bring it home. Land on just 1 or 2 things from the passage to keep learning and thinking about. Don't jump straight to application. Sometimes there might be a clear action step, but other times just learning more about God and about following Jesus is enough. And finally, the wrap-up, also called prayer. One person praying for the group, several people praying for each other, or maybe a consistent closing prayer that you say together each time you meet. You can also make announcements and then eat more food, because that's still a good idea. Here's a few tips. Print out the passage, triple-spaced or more, so there's lots of room for kids to take notes, write, and draw. This doesn't replace real Bibles. Always read from Bibles, but then engage on the sheet. Sit so everyone can see everyone else. Be on the same level as much as possible. Collect phones. Seriously, no phones, including yours, unless you're leading the lesson from it. Create traditions. Same food, same opening question, same closing prayer. Kids love them, and they help build community. Be flexible. A small group discussion is more organic than a practiced club talk. You can't map out exactly how people will respond or engage. If you don't get to every single question on your list, don't fret. God is there, working in hearts and minds in ways that we may never see. And that's it. A warm-up, a main event, and a wrap-up. All centered on God and His Word, make small groups a place where kids and leaders can learn more about Jesus and become more like Him together.